Hello and welcome to this edition of Class is in Session. I'm your host, Ashley Stevens, and this show, exclusively on Black Enterprise, highlights the latest happenings in HBCU classrooms, public policy issues facing these historic institutions, the business side of HBCU sports, and we also highlight HBCU alum and students who are making major moves. I'm excited about today's guest. He's a transformational leader, TEDx speaker, Atlanta Business Chronicles 2023 Most Admired CEO, named the 2023 HBCU College President of the Year, and he's also serving as the 19th president of Morris Brown College. Please help me welcome Dr. Kevin E. James. Hello, Dr. James.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you. I'm actually repping, I believe, what might be one of your alma maters today. We want to hear all about you and your journey as a transformational leader. So we're glad to have you here today. So first, tell us, where did you attend college, and did you always have aspirations to work in higher education administration?
Yes. So I'm from Columbia, South Carolina. I graduated high school in 1995, and I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do when I graduated high school. It was either go to college or go to the military. That's what my parents told me. And so to make a long story short, I was in the band, the marching band, and I received a small scholarship to attend South Carolina State University. And it was my dream to be in the marching 101 band. And so I'm a drummer, percussionist, and I started my collegiate career at South Carolina State. I didn't really know what I wanted to major in, and so I just selected music education as my major. Again, really not knowing what I wanted to do, and so I just, went on there. When I got into music theory at South Carolina State University, my junior year, I said, I don't want to teach music. And so I've changed my major from music education to speech pathology. And I went for another year, and I ended up transferring my senior year from South Carolina State University to Winthrop University, in which I went another year and a half and graduated in 2001 with my degree in speech pathology communication disorders. To answer the question about higher ed, again, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so when I graduated from college, I ended up moving to Albany, Georgia. My uncle had a spare room. He said, Kevin, you can come and live with me in Albany. It's a great place to get your start. And so I moved to Albany, Georgia. September 11th hit. And when September 11th hit, I could not find a job anywhere. All I knew was that I did not want to be a teacher. But to make a long story short, the way that God worked it out, the only job that I could find, having graduated, was teaching. And so I started out teaching at Turner Job Corps, teaching non-traditional students, adult students. And it was there that I fell in love with my passion of working with adult students. And it's crazy because my students were 22. I was 22 years old, and my students were 18, 19 years old. And so I looked just like my students, and it was there that I found my passion of wanting to work in higher ed, working with adults. And so I met a mentor who told me that he was going to be a college president one day, and I was in awe of that. And I said, "Hey, how can I do that? I want to be a college president one day." He said, "Well, you got to go get your master's degree, go get your doctorate degree." I did, and the rest is history. And I got into higher ed and kind of, worked my way from there.
Fantastic. Love to hear that. Tell us, how did you develop your leadership style? And do you come from a family of educators?
Yes. I come from a family of educators. My mother was a teacher, a school principal, a school superintendent. My father was a teacher. And so I've been around education all my life, which is why initially I didn't want to teach. My grandmother was a teacher. My grandfather was a pastor, a preacher. And so it was because I come from a family of leaders and educators that I ran from that field of endeavor, or I thought I was going to run from it. But God said, no, you're coming right back here. And so I developed my leadership style from my family. I'm the oldest of 5 children. I have 4 sisters. I believe that I learned how to be a leader being the oldest of 5. And again, I had a lot of mentors, a lot of people who poured into me. I learned a lot about leadership through my fraternal organizations, Omega Psi Phi, Kappa Kappa Psi. I really learned a lot about working with people when I was in the marching band at South Carolina State. And so I think that all of my life's experiences all poured into my style. And I feel today that I'm a servant leader. I feel like I'm a transformative leader. I love challenges. I love working with people. I love changing trajectories of individuals who thought they were going that way, but helping them to go in a different direction. And so I think all of these experiences ultimately lended into my style.
Awesome. So tell us when and how you became the interim president of HBCU Morris Brown College.
In December of 2018, I was at home watching the news and I saw where my predecessor retired and resigned on the news. And I literally out loud said, wow, I want to be the next president of Morris Brown College. And so I went to the website. The job had not been posted yet. And so I was doing a lot of Google searching and I saw that the school was affiliated with the AME Church. And so I Googled AME Church Atlanta and I found out that the 6th district of the AME Church was headquartered here in Atlanta. And so it was at 7 o'clock at night, and I stepped out on faith and I called the AME Church. And the way that God set it up, the chairman of the board's assistant answered the phone, and two complete strangers talked on the phone for about 45 minutes. And at the end of that conversation, his assistant said, "Send me your resume. I'm gonna put it directly in the chairman's hands." And about a month later, I got an interview, and the rest is history. And so, 3 interviews later, I'm the president of Morris Brown College, and I'm so grateful. I just celebrated my 5th year anniversary as the president of Morris Brown College. Time really does fly, and we've made some phenomenal history here. You know, first HBCU to rebound after a nearly 20-year hiatus. We're not fully accredited. We have our federal financial aid reinstated. We have our veterans benefits reinstated, now enrolling military leaders. We now have our F1 visa international student approval, where we're now enrolling students from other countries. And so we've done some phenomenal things here. We're now financially stable. We're growing the institution. And I'm just so proud to have been selected as the president of Morris Brown. And we're just getting started. I just had my contract extended another 5 years. So I'll be here at Morris Brown at least until 2029 as we continue to grow Morris Brown College through what we call the resurgence.
Phenomenal work, Dr. James. You've done a lot in a very short period of time. Phenomenal, phenomenal work. Everyone's very proud of you. Let's go back to when you first became interim president. What were some of the challenges you faced as new president at Morris Brown? And did you face any criticism or backlash from either alumni or other leaders in the HBCU community?
Sure. Well, when I came into Morris Brown, the board made it very clear what they wanted me to work on, what they wanted me to concentrate on. They wanted me to concentrate on getting the institution accredited, getting our federal financial aid back, becoming financially stable, and making sure that we had a very good, strong leadership and governance culture set up. And so those were the major focuses that I had in the beginning back in 2019. In regards to criticism, it really wasn't as much criticism because Morris Brown was at the bottom at that time. I just be as blunt as I can. You know, we had filed $35 million bankruptcy. We weren't even able to make our bill. We weren't even able to pay our bills. Faculty and staff were paychecks behind. We didn't really have two nickels to rub on, right? And so because we were in such a destitute state, it wasn't as much criticism as much as, well, what are you going to do? What is your plan? How are you going to do it? I mean, we've been trying for almost 20 years. And so it was really more on my vision and being able to articulate my vision of how we were going to do this. I learned very quickly in my presidency, people didn't want to hear what I had to say. They wanted to know, what's the plan? Show me the plan. How are we going to do this? And so that's why ultimately I ended up using social media so much, because I learned very quickly that I was able to tell a compelling story through social media. Don't listen to what I say, but look at what we did today. And that's how we started to build momentum around my presidency through, at that time, what I called the hard reset. The hard reset is now over. We're now in the second phase of the journey called the resurgence, in which now we're stable. We have our federal financial aid. We have our accreditation. We're financially in a better place. Now we want to grow the institution and take her back to her former glory.
Phenomenal work, phenomenal work. I want you to set the scene for our viewers. What did Morris Brown look like when you arrived? Student enrollment, faculty and community engagement. Describe the scene from 2019 compared with now.
Yeah. Well, when I first started at Morris Brown College, we only had 20 students. Again, like I mentioned, we were in a very bad place because we weren't accredited. You know, our finances. My first day on the job, my faculty and staff were 7 paychecks behind, and we had no idea how we were going to pay them. We had filed $35 million bankruptcy. We didn't have a lot of folks who wanted to pour into the college financially because, again, we're not accredited. 20 years has passed. You only have 20 students. In the beginning, a lot of people wouldn't even talk to me as the president of Morris Brown. And so I found out very quickly that instead of me going to a lot of corporate folks to try to get them to help us, they weren't going to help us at that time. And so I focused on two organizations or two groups, the AME Church and the alumni, because that was home. That was home base. And so it was a grassroots movement just to get them to really believe again, right? And so today is much different. Today we have corporate support. We have partnerships. Today we have over 400 students. We are looking much better financially. We're not out of the woods. People thinking that, just because we get a few multi-million-dollar gifts that we're out of the woods. No, we literally came back from bankruptcy. And so the institution is in a much better place, and we're growing. Right now, at this very moment, I got 12 job openings, right? Through this resurgence. So the institution is a new institution today under this administration.
Phenomenal work. Phenomenal work, Dr. James. That's really exciting to hear. And I'm sure it's just as exciting for particularly those initial grassroots stakeholders, the AME Church and the alumni, to see, this growth and resurgence as well. Tell us about some of the partnerships that you have formed as president at Morris Brown.
Sure. We have a lot of great partnerships. I'm going to start with the Hilton. We are building a $40 million Hilton hotel on our campus. The hotel is going to be tied directly to our academic program, our hospitality program. We're the only HBCU in Georgia that has a degree in hospitality management. And so this $40 million 4-star real working hotel will be right here on our campus. The basement of the hotel will be a school of business and hospitality where our students get hands-on learning how to own, operate, manage, and lead restaurants and hotels. So that partnership we're very proud of. We've partnered with Chick-fil-A for a leadership development program where our students are going to get hands-on learning about restaurant management. Again, we're very, very proud of that partnership with Chick-fil-A. We've partnered with Edible Arrangements. Edible Arrangement, if you all have ever had an edible arrangement, very beautiful. Our students are going to hands-on learning to learn how to open their own franchises at Edible Arrangements. And those are just a few examples of a host of other partners that we have here at Morris Brown College. We're partnering with graduate schools where we are building pipeline for us to send our students into graduate programs for them to get their master's and doctoral degree programs as well. So a lot going on here at Morris Brown College, and those are just a few examples.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. You have an exciting 2024 commencement speaker that I've seen. Tell us about that.
Kirk Franklin will be our commencement speaker May 18th here in Atlanta, Georgia at Big Bethel AME Church, 2 o'clock p.m. He will be bringing forth a word, so to speak, for our graduates this year. And we're very, very excited to have him here, and we look forward to meeting with him on the 18th.
Remarkable. Love to hear it. There was also a really big announcement recently about students at Mays High School. Tell us about this announcement.
Yes. So we're partnering with so many different organizations, but I've been working very closely with the principal of Mays High School. And I said to him, I said, listen, you got 272 graduates. I would like to offer your entire 2024 graduation class the opportunity to attend Morris Brown College. Everyone is admitted, and we announced it a few weeks ago at Mays High School, and the students were very, very excited. Morris Brown College for 143 years has been an institution about access and opportunity, and so we're giving these students the opportunity to attend Morris Brown fall of 2024. So far, we've had almost 40 students to apply, and we anticipate that number growing. And we look forward to having Mays High School students here. And not only that, we're going to be also partnering with other high schools where they're going to be sending their students to Morris Brown College. This resurgence is a real movement as we continue to grow our enrollment and to restore Morris Brown College fully.
Love to hear that. Love, and how exciting and empowering for those young people as well to have an HBCU to call home. Let's talk about that. Dr. James, tell us, what is the value of an HBCU and an HBCU education, particularly in today's world?
Yes. We would not have a black middle class if it were not for our historical black colleges and universities. HBCUs have done so much for our communities. When you look at the statistics of, most black judges, doctors, lawyers, CPAs, business folks, entrepreneurs, many of them were educated at our historically black colleges and universities. No one can undermine the value of what HBCUs mean for this country. HBCUs are a place, a safe haven for students to come and to be educated, many times by people who look like them, who are from their same communities, who talk like them, and the like. And so our HBCUs are so valuable and phenomenal places for students to be educated, not just tolerated like at a lot of other institutions. I always tell students, go to where you're celebrated and not tolerated. And we are that safe haven for students, not just at Morris Brown, but other HBCUs throughout this country.
Got it. Got it. Dr. James, what's next? What's on the horizon for Morris Brown College?
You know, the resurgence. It's not just a hashtag, it's what we're doing. What is on the horizon for Morris Brown is phenomenal growth, both from the faculty perspective, staff perspective, student perspective, experience perspective, pouring into young people. We want to be a phenomenal choice for all students here at Morris Brown, a phenomenal choice for students to come and receive their education. Right now we just unveiled our President's Honors College. So, we're looking for the best and the brightest here at Morris Brown College. So students who have that 3.8, 3.9, 4.0 and better GPAs here at Morris Brown College. And so the resurgence is what's next on the horizon. Growth and phenomenal opportunity for students, faculty, staff, and the like to be educated and to be here at Morris Brown and call Morris Brown College home.
Love to hear it. Dr. Kevin James, thank you for your time here and sharing with us. For everyone watching, be sure to share this episode with family, friends, alumni, students who may be interested in attending Morris Brown. And also be sure to check out the latest and greatest happenings on Black Enterprise's social media channels and on our website at blackenterprise.com. For this episode of Class is in Session, I'm your host, Ashley Stevens, and class is dismissed.